everyone, welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you're new. My name is Kimberly and I do all things home, DIY, self-care, all that good stuff. So I hope you stick around. Today I am making a recipe video, and the recipe for today is ceviche. Now ceviche is traditionally made with fish and shrimp that are cooked in lime juice. Now the twist on this ceviche is that it's made with quinoa. I know what you're thinking. It's too healthy, right? But I promise you, it is so delicious. You have to give it a try. I want to give a shout out to my friend Veronica, who gave me this recipe. She shared it with me and I've been making it ever since. It's really so delicious. So I hope you give it a try. Stay tuned. So we're gonna kick off this recipe with 1 cup of quinoa. These are half cup measurements. I'm gonna use 2 to make 1 full cup. And it's 1/4 of a cup serving. It was 1 serving, so this will make 4 servings. Now my package said to rinse my quinoa. I usually do this anyway with quinoa or rice or any grains that I'm using. You wanna triple wash it and make sure there's nothing other than your ingredient in your recipe. So here I'm just dumping it into a saucepan, and my stove is completely off, and it looks like a little bit, but it doubles in size. And I love quinoa. It has a lot of protein and it cooks just like rice, so I kind of eyeball it, but you want to use double the amount of water. So to my 1 cup of quinoa I added 2 cups of water. And once I get every little bit in there, I'm going to turn on my stove to a medium-high heat, and we'll just leave it alone. Now we'll work on our veggies. So I have cucumber. This is English cucumber, one of my favorites. And first I sliced it into long spears, and now I'm just dicing it up into bite-sized pieces. So use as much as you want. If you want more veggies, you can totally do that, and if you want less or more of something, you could do that as well. Now I'm gonna get some grape tomatoes. Now I wanted something just a little bit sweet because I am adding lime juice, so I didn't want any tomato that was gonna be too tangy. And I'm just slicing them up. Now I know this is tedious and a little painstaking, but it just looks so beautiful when it's done. And I feel like part of cooking is just making things beautiful, making them appetizing. And so yes, I'm slicing them into quarters, 1 by 1. Next up we have limes. So I want to get about 1/4 cup of juice out of these, and I only used 2 limes. These limes are super juicy, so these 4 halves yielded 1/4 cup of juice. So you might need more than just these 2 limes, but you want to get 1/4 cup of juice for this recipe. So once your quinoa comes to a boil like this, you want to bring it down to a simmer and cover it so it could finish cooking. So bring it down to a medium-low heat. And this is what it looks like when it's done. It took about 15 minutes, I'd say, maybe less than that, about between 10 and 15 minutes. And it's still warm. And what I want to do now is just fluff it up a bit. And this is what it looks like. So I'm transferring the quinoa to a bowl just so it could cool down a little more quickly. And there is some quinoa stuck to the bottom, and it got a little crunchy, which I love. So I just added it into my mix. But if you don't like crunchy quinoa, you can leave it stuck to the pan. I don't waste 1 bit, so it's all going in the bowl. And what you want to do is just spread it out a little bit. That'll help it cool down faster. And if you're cooking this in a larger batch, you know, you might need more time. But this cools down in another 15 minutes or so. Once everything's cool, you want to add your cucumbers and your tomatoes. You could also add onions to this. We don't really eat onions because my husband doesn't like them. My oldest daughter doesn't like them either, but you could add onion. I think that's part of a traditional ceviche, but this is anything but traditional, so you could do whatever you want. Mix it up. So I'm going to add my lime juice now, and you want to pour it all around and incorporate it really well so that everything gets evenly coated with lime juice. And before you come for me, we are gonna season this. I added 2 good pinches of kosher salt. I would say it's about a teaspoon, and remember this is a serving for 4. So yeah, that's what I added. You can add a little more if you like your food saltier, or if you're low sodium, you know, do half the amount. But just salt to taste, do whatever you prefer for this recipe. And keep in mind also how you're going to serve it. You don't want it to be overpowering. You don't want too much salt to overpower all those beautiful flavors of the veggies. So now we're going to plate it and put it on a nice plate. Make it beautiful, make it appetizing, make it inviting. I just love how those tomatoes look and the pops of green and red throughout this whole plate of quinoa. That's it for this recipe, guys. I hope you try it at home. And the only thing that was missing was a little bit of fresh cilantro, fresh coriander. I wish I had some on hand because it makes this recipe absolutely perfect. If you have some, add it to this recipe. It'll be just delicious. So, like this video, share it with your family and friends, and comment down below, what do you like to have with your ceviche? I usually have regular tostadas, but my husband had the brilliant idea of putting it on Doritos, and oh my goodness, you guys, it wasn't vegan anymore, but it was so good. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Huele a paja o así lo que comen los caballos.